Hey Google, set the living room light to blue. Cause we're stuck under the upper hand. Moving to another man. It's so cold outside. But ain't no tea. Do. It's so cold outside. For angels to fly. Hello, hello, hello. Go. Oh, that didn't sound good. Hello. So messy. Hi, Leo. How you doing? So I wish I had better light because it's coming from behind me, and I'm pretty sure doing this isn't too much better, but we do our best. Hello, hello, hello. I am working on making some vegan meat. And I'll be making it probably from textured vegetable protein or TVP or soy protein isolate because I'm cheap and that's the cheapest way to do it. And I don't want to do the wheat meat today. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing. Caliber in the hut. I wish I knew what that meant, but cool beans. Let's see if I can get it lighter in here. It's super dark. Courtesy of the weather. So it's just super dark. And then the alternatives aren't that great for light in here. But yeah, it's pretty messy, but you know, we do our best. I'm gonna put y'all up here so I can actually talk to you. What do I need? I need my tablet. All right, so I've got to find a recipe that I can use to help me make vegan meat happen. And unfortunately, this light makes me look like I'm in witness protection because it's coming from over here. I guess I can move you guys, but then you're going to see my ultra messy apartment. So get ready for that. But I'll set you guys up here so we can talk a little bit better. There we go. Oh, I see what happened. Oopsies. I broke my holder. All right. So right now I am looking for a good recipe for vegan meat. And let's see what options we have. Ground beef is pretty easy and straightforward. We're gonna do, I guess, the Beyond Meat recipe. So that seems like the easiest one to manage. So to do that,
So Beyond Meat is expensive.
let's see, I think there's like an update from a while ago by Sauce Stash. Sauce Stash, by the way, is like one of my favorite YouTubers. But he has made some really great vegan meat that I feel like I can use. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa Laura. I'm checking in on the monitor so that I can actually see when people are checking in and saying hi. But yeah, so Sauce Stash is actually one of the better YouTubers for like following recipes and like getting an understanding of like the basics of some of these things. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm going to make, I don't know, something easy, but something that's not just tofu. Um, I feel like vegan ground meat is gonna be like the cheapest option that I can make. That's also fairly easy and simple. Um, but I need to use my blender and I need to grab some ingredients. So to do this, I am going to need my coconut oil. Everything is so high up. So this is refined. That's great because he says it should be a refined coconut oil. Let me find one that's open though. I'm gonna use this refined coconut oil. And I just got mine from, big box store, nothing fancy, nothing super expensive there. I'm gonna use Marmite for the first time. I've never tried it before. Somewhere in this apartment, I have molasses, and I'm gonna be using that in this as well as methyl cellulose, which is a binder. So I'm excited to give that a try. I've never used it before. I'm gonna use this textured vegetable protein, but I'm not gonna use a small container. I actually have one that's open already. And then I have this smoked sea salt, or no, yeah, hickory smoked sea salt. And I can taste the smell of the salt. It is so fresh and like aromatic. Smoked salt is like crazy. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use some of this molasses because I feel like a nice smoky burger is always a good thing, even if you're not trying to like replicate. Like if you don't want to use the grill, You can still use you can still use that smoked salt and get a nice smoky flavor out of it. The last thing I need is the TVP that I already opened. I know it's hiding here somewhere. Or maybe I used it all. It's possible, but feels unlikely. It's got this. A little MSG. This is more gluten. I'm gonna actually use some soy protein. And I thought I had like a bag of TVP that was already open, but maybe I didn't. Oh, I know. I think that TVP is at my sister's. That's fine. Okay, so I've got like a metric crap ton of ingredients out, but this is all going to come together. Yeah, this is all going to come together. I don't know why I said that like it was a question. All right, now I just need the beetroot powder and I'll pull that over here, and I need to grab my blender. Let's see. I'll pull the blender over. Okay. And there we go. Okay. I've never tried this before, so it's going to be a learning experience for me. Hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes because I've got no clue what I'm doing. I'm just going to change the angle here a little. I don't know. That's not great either, but hopefully it's better than what it was before. Now, for this recipe, hopefully there are some instructions in the description. Okay. All right. Hello, Lorenzo. Hi. I am trying my best to actually make this work. We'll see if it does. But ooh, this is a little too low. So I am like in real time trying to figure out how to make this vegan meat. I've never tried it before. I'm using TVP as like my protein base, and I'm trying to find a recipe that's written out instead of like a video format. because it's kind of hard to follow a video and do this. But most of the first things that showed up were, of course, videos. I'm going to say make impossible meat at home. And then we're going to make whatever we can come close to. I just need a recipe that I feel like I can trust. The Vegan Dietitian, Delish Knowledge, CNET, Sauce Dash. All right, so 3/4 of a pound of textured soy protein. And this is 10 ounces. Hey, Google, how many ounces is 3/4 of a pound?
There are 12 ounces and 3/4 of a pound.
So I'll just use this whole thing. 1 cup of coconut oil. This is not a recipe I can even follow. I gotta find another one. Let's do Beyond Meat at Home. Some of these have like really specific ingredients and I'm not sure how to replace them because I haven't made this before. So I'm trying to like make it happen with what I have available. So the first thing is to make the fat. And that's something I remember from the video. But what I don't know is how much of the things I need. So I need a cup of the coconut oil. So I need like 1 cup of this. I need what are the instructions? Okay. So I just start with water in the blender and then the oil. All right. I'm gonna plug this in somehow. Oh, it won't reach. Okay. We are figuring this out in real time. Okay. I should have titled this video, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying anyway, because that's what's happening here. All right. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Okay, so we got the blender plugged in. It's actually a very big accomplishment if you saw where I started from. So I am adding how much water to the blender? Add water to blender, start blender on the low speed, but it doesn't say how much water. 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose, yeast extract, 1 cup, coconut oil, smoked paprika, blah, 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 water. Water is not on the list of ingredients. No, come on. Okay, it's 1 cup of water. Gonna put a cup of water in here. Okay. So we've got 1 cup of water in the blender. and then put the top on, and then turn it all the way to low. Oh my God. Turn it on. Okay. All right, so I am supposed to get 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose in here. Hey Google, how much is 1.5 tablespoons in grams?
You asked for the amount of 1.5 tablespoons, which is 1.5 tablespoons. In fluid, 1.5 tablespoons equals 0.75 fluid ounces. The weight in grams will vary depending on the ingredient, but using water as a standard, 1.5 tablespoons is approximately 22.1 grams. What ingredient is methyl?
Methyl cellulose.
Methyl cellulose is a compound made from cellulose that has a few different uses. In food and cosmetics, it's used as a thickener and an emulsifier. Often sold as a brand name Citrusol. A unique property of methyl cellulose is that it dissolves in cold water to form a gel, but then solidifies or sets when heated and melts back to liquid when cooled. It's not digestible, non-toxic, and safe to use. Did you want to know more about its use in cooking or as a medication?
Hey Google, how much is 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose in grams?
Since you're measuring a powder, the exact weight of 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose depends on its density or specific type, but I can give you the typical range.
That
The most
works.
common cooking and baking types of methyl cellulose, which are the high and low viscosity forms, 1.5 tablespoons between about 5.4 grams and 6.3 grams. 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose, HV, high viscosity, is about 5.4 grams. 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose, LV, low viscosity.
Okay. So I'm going to do 6 grams because I can't find my measuring cup or spoons or whatever, which is fine because this is more accurate and I'll be able to check on it again later. Okay, so now I can take this. Okay. So now the methyl cellulose is in there. All right. Now I'm going to do 1 cup of melted coconut oil. Let's melt it down. And while I melt down the coconut oil, I'm just gonna take another look at the recipe. This is starting to froth up, which is good. And then once this starts to froth, I put in the coconut oil and I do it really, really slowly according to the instructions. And after I get all of that in, then I need to lay it out flat on a cookie sheet and then cool it off. So I guess I'm gonna put it in the freezer. And then I actually get into making like the protein part of the vegan meat. So just stirring this up to make sure it all gets nice and melted. And now in goes the oil. And we're doing this until it starts to emulsify. So once it starts to look like mayonnaise, like really frothy mayonnaise, I'm pretty sure then I can put this in a little faster. But I'm doing a really slow trickle for now. Just continuing to pour it slowly. okay? All right. Ooh, sorry, that was super loud. But hopefully worth it because hopefully this came out correctly. So I was supposed to blend that up until it's slightly thicker than mayo. I don't think we've gotten thicker than mayonnaise, but it's also warm. So it's hard to say. But I guess we'll find out. I'm just going to clean this off. And then, like the instructions say, I'm going to put this in the freezer while I work on the next part. So I'm going to spread some parchment paper out on a cookie sheet. I'm actually going to do foil and then parchment paper just in case. So I'm going to put these on just to line this just in case anything gets messed up. I don't want anything to get on this fat that we've just spent all this time to make. So I'm just going to wrap it up as best as I can, and then line it with this parchment paper. And so the next thing that I do here is I'm going to take the parchment paper, take this mixture, and pour it into the pan. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I've never tried making this before, so it's kind of a high stakes dish or ingredient to try and make from scratch, but I just feel like I can do it, you know? I feel capable. All right. So I'm going to match that up here and actually put this down. There's a liner is getting a little bit fussy with me. Okay. Here comes the hard part. I'm gonna pour this out. Hopefully this is a deep enough thing where it's not gonna get messed up. And as I pour that out, ooh, smells like I don't know what that smells like. I guess it just smells like warm coconut oil. It's a little unusual. But I have, I'm gonna spread this all out. And then now that I've got it on here, oh no, what is this? I don't know what that was. I'm just gonna carefully spread it out over the parchment paper. Try not to have like a super thick spot. And this is the fat kind of laid out on the parchment paper. And like I said, this is like kind of warm from spinning it. So I'm gonna pop this in the freezer and then I'm gonna do the next step. Let's see if it works. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but I'm so curious. Since I've never done this before, I feel like there are a lot of ways I can mess this up. And it's like a very high risk dish, like I said, or high risk ingredient. As far as like ways to fail. But I think I can do this. As long as I get this thing in the freezer without it tipping, I won't have a giant mess in here. All right, I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes for now. And that 30-minute timer is just so that I don't lose track of what I have been working on. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna bring you guys up a little bit. That's a little better. So now I've got a super dirty blender. I'm gonna blend up some water and soap in there. I don't know if you all ever do that, but wherever I can make my life a little bit easier, I try to. And I like to blend my cleaning process instead of just cleaning it old school. And I blend the soap and water because it just cleans off the blending blades, the blender blades, without it being a pain to clean. So much easier. Okay. And now let's see what's going on with the dishwasher. I'm gonna pull this stuff out of the dishwasher because it is clean. And we can set up a load in there. That'll definitely help with this process as well. So let me do that. I did my sourdough starter this morning. I fed my sourdough, and it's a lot of soaking involved in keeping that thing clean, or keeping things that I use to take care of it clean, I should say. So I've got a lot of random dishes here that I've got to take care of. At some point, I'm hoping to get a second camera because I feel like live cooking would be much more fun if you could see multiple angles while the work is being done. But I haven't learned how to do all of that yet. But it's on deck. I'm just getting a little bit of some of this stuff out so that I've got a cleaner space to work with. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Let's get this. And like it breaks up the flow of cleaning, the flow of cooking a little bit. But I like to take a quick minute in between activities just to manage the mess because it does get overwhelming sometimes when you're working with like a really multi-step process and there's a lot of dishes involved. And then at the end, you got this huge mess to clean, which I feel like would take away the motivation to explore and experiment in the kitchen. So I try to just get rid of some of those barriers by keeping things a little on the clean side. And not making things too much more difficult than they have to be, wherever possible. Okay. So I know I'm going to need a bowl. So I've got that here. And I've got some trash to manage here. So I'm just going to grab a quick charge. Oh, this project is taking up so much energy, but I know it's going to be worth it because I'm going to have like a pretty solid yield from this. And if it's good, then I know that I can make this with the ingredients that I have at home, which will mean a much easier time in the future and a much cheaper time in the future. All right, blender is all used up. Don't need that anymore. So let's just pop that back where it belongs. Okay, now what? Making the burger. Well, we're not gonna make, yes, here we go. So for the meat, we're using a cup of TVP. Oh, only a cup. I don't know why it was so much more in my, maybe it is just a cup, but that is like the weight of a cup. That's quite possible. The solid weight to volume conversions are a real pain because TVP is into powder and it's an irregular size, so there's a little bit of room for imagination as far as what the translation from weight to volume would be. Just one of my least favorite things about following recipes is it's just not consistent which way people write their instructions. But the more kitchen literate I become, I'm hoping the easier it will be to do these things. And the easier they become, hopefully I'll be able to make better videos about it. But right now I'm just cleaning out this oily cup that I just used for measuring the fat for these ground meat, vegan ground meat. And so now that I have cleaned that out, I'm just going to give it a good thorough drying. Because once this is dry, I will be measuring dry ingredients, and I'd rather them not stick to the cup. It's just a little pet peeve of mine. But yeah, thank you for the likes, by the way. I really appreciate that. Hopefully by the end of this stream, we'll have something pretty cool to look at. Some homemade vegan meat that we've made. A little something got stuck on the bottom. That's why I don't like mixing wet and dry. I'll fix it later. Ooh, I got a bird in the window. There's a little bird on the window, actually. Hi, birdie. The little chickadee came to visit. All right. I'm gonna crack this TVP open. Let's see what we got here. So this is about 1 cup of the TVP. And then what else? I've got to do mung bean protein, methyl cellulose. Mung bean protein is basically a bean powder, right? So I'm going to use the pea protein that I have, actually. Where is it? Oh my gosh. I have pea protein somewhere here. I know because I pulled it out to work with. Here it is. So I'm going to use some pea protein isolate because we really want this to be a proteinaceous ingredient that we can work with. And it doesn't say how much to use. So I'm going to go with like maybe half a cup. This stuff does not smell good at all. Ugh. Yuck. All right, let's see what we got here. It's a little more than half a cup. That might be too much. It might be just right. I don't really know. I hate that he said some mung bean protein, like I'm supposed to know what that is in quantum. Well, let's see. 3 tablespoons. I used way more than he used of the protein. Let's see. Then we're going to use, what are the other dry ingredients? Gonna grab some paprika. I like to keep my stuff nice and seasoned. How much beetroot powder? I feel like that's only a couple of tablespoons. Beetroot powder, 1 tablespoon. So not a ton. I'm just gonna use 1 scoop. Garlic powder. I'm also gonna do a little onion powder. Garlic powder here. And I like to season my stuff, so we'll season with our spirit. Hi, Kevin. How you doing? Yeah, Monday is treating me well. We're hanging in there over here. I'm trying to make vegan meat and I've never done it before like this. So I'm like actually trying to make vegan ground beef. And this is enough to make 1 pound. So hopefully it's a good one. And then next time around, I'll make a bigger batch. But it's nice because this is supposed to be like $3 a pound for the ingredients that I'm using. So I'm hoping that's true. All right. So the next step is to mix this. I'm gonna make sure that everything is all smushed up here. I'm glad you're doing good. Thank you for checking on me. I always appreciate seeing your name come across the screen. Let's see. And then let's go back down here to the ingredients list. We've got okay. More methyl cellulose, apparently. I'm just gonna do a little bit because I can't really tell, but I don't think it's a lot he uses here. So a bit of methyl cellulose, smoked paprika, garlic powder, beetroot powder, yeast extract. Okay. And then, so we got the protein, the mung bean protein, which in my case is the pea protein, the methyl cellulose, smoked paprika, garlic powder, beetroot powder, yeast extract. What is supposed to be making this wet? How much water am I supposed to put in here? I'm assuming it's just another cup, although he did not say how much. That's how much I'm putting in. Doesn't seem like it'll be enough though. So something tells me I'll be adding more water to this mix. I'm just rinse this out real quick. Get a cup of warm water. And I'm using, ugh, what was that? But I'm using this like Marmite. I've never tried it before. But it's supposed to be, I guess, good for the flavor profile that we're going for here with this ground meat. I'll be curious to see what it tastes like because I've never tried it before. Interesting smell. So I am supposed to do it doesn't say how much. Oh my God, it's killing me that I don't have the ingredients like quantities here. Because that feels important. It just says yeast extract. I guess flavor it with your feeling, right? Flavor it with your ancestors in mind. Let them guide us. So that's what we're gonna do here. Just gonna let the ancestors tell me how much is enough. okay. This is kind of working like chocolate syrup a little. That should be enough. Since I've got no idea what it's supposed to exactly taste like, I guess I should. That's interesting. It's not bad. Is unusual. Well, you know I always appreciate being checked on, Kevin. It'd be lonely out here. And I got a lot of stuff to do these days. So sometimes I miss my streams. And those are the worst days because then I miss you guys. I hope that's not too wet. I'm going to add some a little bit of blackstrap molasses to this. But as you can see, got it all over my hands. So I'm just gonna clean my hands off a little bit of that. And then what else is supposed to be in here? MSG. We love an umami girly. And gotta crack in some pepper. And the pepper is supposed to be just like any other use of pepper. There's no like special usage here for that. And then I guess I just mix it again. Oh, this is looking really cool. I feel like the beetroot powders maybe doing something scent-wise. It smells sweeter than it should. So I might need to balance that out with some heat or vinegar later in a sauce. But it might even itself out as well. I'm not sure how wet this is supposed to be. I'm gonna do, I think, I don't want to mess anything up. I'm gonna put it over here in case. I'm gonna do a little bit more of this molasses. I'm gonna add nutritional yeast as well. It's not in the recipe, but I feel like it's a good idea. I feel like there's an ingredient that he has in this on the video that I'm missing as well. But since I'm going from the actual website, it's just not there. I'm gonna add some more water here. Just mix it up a little bit. I don't know what's missing, but it is, if that makes any sense. But I guess that's why you practice and you make stuff more than once. Just because eventually you figure out your personal approach. So this is what it looks like right now. I think I smell the beetroot powder or something. But it's hard to say. It's not too dry. I'm gonna season it twice because I'm gonna be really mad if it doesn't taste good later. Or if it just tastes too sweet. That will be strange. I'm gonna add a little bit more paprika in, a little bit more pepper in, and We're gonna go with some Mrs. Dash because she's never let us wrong. And it's already smelling less like the sweet smell of beets. And then what is gonna happen? So the meat is supposed to go in the fridge for 20 minutes. All right. And I can take that as a moment to like kind of catch my breath, clean up, and get reorganized. I do not feel like this has enough flavor happening. But I also can't really say that I tasted it. Just doesn't feel right. I've got the protein, the mung bean powder, the methyl cellulose, smoked paprika, garlic powder, beetroot powder, the yeast extract. And I mix it all together. Maybe I need more of this yeast extract than I think. Again, it feels dangerous to like guess, but I want this to taste good. And we'll find out if that was a terrible life choice or not really soon. But I've got to try it. Okay. Let me just pull that too. I'm just going to give it one more stir through. I'm actually going to do more water. Because TVP really does soak up a lot of water anyway. So I don't think I can hurt it by taking in more water in this situation. Yeah. I think this is actually a lot better between the added yeast extract and then just a pinch more water. I think that's going to make a really big difference. And I'm going to do a little bit more MSG. Because we want that umami. And this is what it looks like now. So I think we're in a good place. I am going to do just a touch more seasoning from Mrs. Dash. Because it's just not giving I seasoned that meat when I sniff it. Now it is a little bit better. All right, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to put it in the fridge like the instructions say, and then we'll see what happens. You are too small. And let's see, we're going to do timer at 25 minutes. I'm gonna pop this. Oh. Good. Now this can go in. Ooh. We almost lost a good friend here. Our fat almost went overboard, but we saved it. I'm just running it back over this sheet again. So hopefully we won't have any more issues. That should be fine. Oh, God. It's just not very level in here. All right. Gonna depart with that ice. And yeah, so everything is sitting for the next few minutes. And while that stuff sits in the fridge and freezer, I am going to sit and contemplate my life choices because that was really hard to do. But it was fun, and that counts, right? All right, let's get y'all snugly positioned in your place. And I am going to come sit by y'all at the desk. All right. Mrs. Dash for the, yes, okay, someone who understands. Kevin, I know I can always count on you because you understand the value of Mrs. Dash seasoning. She has never failed. Never ever. So I think what was happening was I was trying to follow this recipe that is on YouTube and that I was really excited to work with. But as I was looking at this, I'm like, "Ugh." The recipe that I was seeing on the website was missing some of the elements that this guy Sauce Dash, I should say his name, not Sauce Dash, but the user Sauce Dash on YouTube has like kind of compiled into like his favorite vegan meat version of the Impossible Burger. And so I just feel like what I made isn't going to measure up, but I shouldn't feel so defeated, you know? Who knows? It could be awesome. Like he's got the soy lecithin, which is something I did not have. But I really tried to follow all the ingredients and instructions. I guess we'll find out. He definitely used more than a cup of water in his as well. So I feel like it's gonna be okay. Like, I feel like what I made is gonna be all right. I used less beetroot powder, so my vegan meat looks less red than his. Like, his is very red. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But mine looks a little bit different. And I think once I get it in the fridge and it cools off, it'll be all right. What I should have done was put the vegan fat into a container rather than a tray, just because it's gonna take a lot of finesse to get it off of that tray. And I'm not the most finessey of the people. I don't know if I'm gonna succeed, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. And we'll see if it works. I'm just watching the rest of this video to see what else he does, because maybe I can. I don't think I did anything wrong though. I think it's gonna be just fine. He's like forming the burger after he mixes it in. That all looks normal. I think the most challenging bit is just making sure that I got all the ratios correct, because I was kind of measuring some of that with my heart, and with Google's help. So, hopefully it's right, but I really won't know. So he seasons it with salt and pepper once it's on the pan, like once it's on a heated pan, and he puts a little burger seasoning in it. That's all well and good. Just trying to see if there's anything that he does that I haven't done. I have to make the burger sauce. Yes, Kevin, I know I can count on you. I guess the only thing I need to do is add the sauce. I'm gonna make like a full-on burger. I'm not just gonna make a patty with. Oh no, I don't have bread. I'm so tight. Oh my God. But I guess I could just pick up some bread after I pick up my daughter. But I wanted to eat some of this for lunch. And that's just not gonna happen. Oh, that sucks. All that work. And I forgot the buns. I'm pretty sure I can't bake buns before I pick up my daughter, so I guess I have to deal with it. Let me look up a recipe for yeast buns. Maybe it's super easy and I'm just uninformed. Homemade buns. Yeah, they take like an hour. Let's jump to the recipe. We don't need to read everything about this baker. Why are you like this? I don't want to see that. I want to jump to the recipe. Okay, here we go. stand mixer, baking sheet, and parchment paper. I've got all of the above. So I need 2 cups of water. I need 2 tablespoons of instant yeast, or 20 grams. I'm gonna weigh that out. 60 grams of sugar, 20 grams of salt. I don't have eggs, but I won't be using eggs. 65 grams of olive oil, bread flour. We don't have that. We're gonna use all-purpose and sesame. We are not gonna. It doesn't matter if we have sesame seeds or not. We're just making buns. All right, we're gonna make this. We need the water, the yeast, and the sugar. All right. This should be doable. We're being very homemade today. Mostly because I didn't think ahead. But it's gonna be fine. All right. So, luckily I kind of already cleaned up the area a little. Not all the way, but a little is something. We're gonna make our dough. And then even if I just have to sit it to proof while I wait to pick up my daughter, when I come back, I can just throw it in the oven. Because these buns aren't gonna take long in the oven, LOL. The buns won't take long to make. I'm gonna let that heat up. And I have a thermometer somewhere. Where, I don't know, so might not get to use it. But while we warm up the water, I'm just going to grab some yeast. Turn this on. Set that to 0. Gonna grab my yeast. And it said, I think 20 grams. Yep, 20 grams of yeast. So let's do 20 grams. All right, so we've got 20 grams of yeast. Now sugar. And I believe it was 60 grams of sugar. Oh no. Had a couple of lumps fall in. All right, 60. Now this goes in. Let's plug this in. And then 2 cups of water. We're just going to do warm water because I can't find my thermometer. I know it's not hot, so our little yeasty friends should be fine. And while that's going in, I'm going to grab my vegan egg. And to replace the 1 large egg, I'm going to do maybe 2/3 of a cup. Let's do a little more. And this vegan egg is made from mung bean. Let's see. Double check on that fat. Yeah, that's still cooling off, but it went in warm, so I might just wait to do the full, like, putting everything together for the burgers until I come back from picking up my daughter. The yeast is frothy. So that's a good sign. It means the yeast is active. We love an active yeast. Let's see. What else? I'm gonna let it froth up one more time after stirring it around a little. And I'm gonna check the recipe for how much flour it is that we need. So 65 grams of olive oil. $65 grams of olive oil. Where are the notes? Okay. Okay. So I guess I'll use 1,000 grams of the all-purpose flour. And I'm going to use a bowl to measure that. It's going to be quite a bit of flour. So set that to 0. And then just measuring out this flour. Let's get some more. Okay. Some more flour. Okay. Just over 1,000 grams there. Okay. I'm going to stir this up just a little bit. Break up a little bit of that sugar. The yeast is definitely activated. So I'm going to pour in the vegan egg plus the 60 grams of oil. Fork whisk it a little. There we go. So this goes in. I hope that I can put all of this dough in this machine. It's not the biggest stand mixer in the world. So we'll see whether or not this will fit, but I have faith in her. Now let's push the top down, and I'm gonna go with a low setting. And I guess slowly just paddle this thing in. A little bit at a time. We'll go to 2. I'm just keeping it on a low setting. I'm slowly adding it in. Clean off the sides a little. Again. Okay. Going again. All right. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. And this is what we're working with here. Feel like that dough hook is really doing a lot of work. I'm gonna stop here. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, let's see what we got in terms of the dough itself. Whoa. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna pull this off here. Just to make sure that it all got combined. And take it over here really quickly. Let's get this stuff out of it. Ooh. Let's just do this really quick. Just clear off this spot. Make sure there's nothing on it. Much better. Take off the ring real quick. And I mean, it feels like dough. I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to feel like. It's not wet, it's not dry. It smells yeasty. There are some spots that are tackier than others. I'm just gonna make sure that it gets mixed properly. And then I'm pretty sure after this, I just have to let it sit anyway. Such a large dough ball. All right. I think next time, instead of using all-purpose flour, if it asks for more protein, I might just like add a little bit of gluten into the bread and see how that goes. Because that might be nice as an option in the future. Okay. Oh gosh, that's loud. Okay. All right, so Got some dough there. Hopefully it tastes all right. Yeah, I almost missed the salt. I think I didn't put very much in for what it was supposed to be because it said to use how much salt? A tablespoon. So I don't think I used enough salt for like what the recipe called for. So it'll be very low sodium bread. But that's okay because it's for a burger. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna let this bulk rise was the expression they used. So I'm gonna pop some oil into this bowl and then pop the dough ball back in. Oh. Just pull this over here and pour that in there. And then take the dough ball. In the bowl you go. And then the oil goes on top of the dough ball as well. And then I just cover it according to the instructions. So that's easy. Let's see. Let me just double check that that's right. So, lightly flour surface dough onto the surface. Cover the dough. Let it rise until doubled. Cut the dough into 12 equal pieces. I mean, hopefully I got this right. All right, so I just need to get a cover and then you'll see me post about whether or not this food was good later, I guess. Because bread takes a while and everything else that I made today is going to take a while as well. So I'm going to let it rest in the fridge or rest out and do its thing. Hi, Official Shady. But yeah, I'm just gonna, I guess, let these items get to proper temperature, mix them together, and try again later. For reference, I am making vegan burgers from scratch. And so I've got this homemade fat that's currently cooling up here in the freezer. And it's coming out pretty good. It's solid. So that's what you want to see, is that kind of solid look. But I'm going to keep it in the freezer until later. I'm here. I'm making burgers and buns from scratch. So I've got my bun dough in here. So that is going to rise while I'm out. And then I've got this vegan meat mix that I made also from ingredients. So this is going to be a vegan ground beef that I'm mixing in with the fat. And yeah, it was a lot of work, but hopefully it will come out equally good. But that's pretty much it for now. I'll be back a little bit later when I come home, or I will check on that when I come home. I don't know if I'll be live when I come home, unless people want to come hang out with me. But once I get home, the plan is to just get in there and knock out these last couple of items for my buns, get them in the oven at 400 degrees, and then cook some burgers and see how they come out. I'm kind of excited. I have some homemade mayo, so I might mix that with some ketchup and make like a smoky mayo ketchup. And have that on the burger with some cheese. I don't have any lettuce or tomatoes, so they're gonna be kind of sad burgers, but they're gonna be hopefully very tasty. Yeah. Oh. I skipped out on working out today because I'm all stuffy and not feeling the best that I've ever felt. Um, oh, there's so many things to keep track of for school here. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if there's nothing else, I guess I'll just see y'all real soon in the next one. If you're not subscribed, but you know you want to come hang out with me and see me do things like work on my body or prepare food from scratch or any of the good stuff, let me know. Come hang out with me, subscribe. I'm here most days on the weekdays. 'Cause I like to do something during lunch, just to like get my creative juices flowing. But yeah, I'll be back. In the meantime, I hope that you are happy, healthy, and whole, and I will see you real soon in the next one. But for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.